Well, good evening, everyone. I'm Janet Kiefer, and welcome to the Power of the Patch Showcase. We do this every Tuesday night. We're very excited you're here. I'm a two-star executive director with LifeWave, hailing from the Austin, Texas area, where tonight it is raining down in Texas, kind of like the Stevie Ray Vaughan song. But I'm excited that you've joined us. Over the past 5 years, I've really been blessed to be able to share this life-changing technology that you're going to learn about if you're new with us tonight, with people in over 16 countries, thousands of people. And if you're a guest tonight, what I would say is I really can assure you that what you're about to see is very interesting. If nothing else, we're really interesting, especially if you like to look and feel and be younger, which I did. So tonight we also have the pleasure of hearing from a special guest, Dr. Cathy Wong, DDS. But first, let me ask you a question. Something I was asked years ago, and that is, what keeps you up at night? Maybe it's that you're up at night, right? You're not sleeping, could be one of the issues. But maybe pain's keeping you up at night, or maybe you're worried about a situation and someone in the family, or some news you got that you're worried about someone's health. Well, good news tonight, because if so, we have some solutions for you. So grab a pen and paper if you want. You're welcome to take pictures of the information we're going to share right now. So if you give me a moment, I am going to share my screen. We're here to tell you all about LifeWave technology. And I'm going to get us set up here. If I can get the slides to do their job. Great, here we go. So welcome to the Power of the Patch. It truly is a patented breakthrough in wearable light technology. And if you're like me, when I first saw this, I'm like, what's wearable light technology? Well, hold on, it's pretty exciting. Because I think we'll all agree, health is really our greatest wealth. I don't care if you're a billionaire, if you don't have your health, you know it doesn't matter how much money's in the bank. But one thing, remember when we could work all day and we could party all night? And then you get up in the morning and we were fine. Now it's like your friends come over and say, let's go out at 9 o'clock. And you're like, are you kidding? It's time for bed, right? Well, the symptoms of aging really aren't a lot of fun. I think we can agree. But something I didn't realize is on this chart is the older we get and the faster we age, the slower we heal. And this is really due to the natural decline in the number one repair system, our stem cells. And I know when I was first introduced to this, I'm thinking, why are you talking about stem cells to me? But this is what I didn't know. By age 30, they've decreased about 50% in the body. And there are master cells. They're the cells that build the tissue in the hair, in your toenails, in your muscle, in your cardiovascular system, right? And by age 60, you're kind of at the far end of this scale. If you're like me, it's kind of like Kaputski, right? So, what we like to share tonight, I think, is going to get you excited because we're going to be able to turn that around. But first, think about it. Not only what keeps you up at night, but what if you could change one thing about your health or in the health of someone you love? What would it be? So, real quick, what would it be? Think about it, okay? Well, what impact could reducing or eliminating that issue have for you or the quality of their life? Well, for me, 5 years ago, when this was shared and someone said, "Do you know about these patches?" I had 3 years of screaming knee pain. And the doctors wanted to break all the bones in my ankle and my left foot to solve the knee pain, which I thought was a little medieval. I'm thinking, thanks, guys, I'll get back to you, right? So I was just constant pain. It wasn't go get a knee replacement, right? So I was looking for answers. So I'd like to introduce you tonight to LifeWave. We're going to tell you more about the company. We'd like to introduce you to our product called X39. Sit back. I think you'll really enjoy this short presentation.
An empowered life has no expiration date.
Okay, we're not getting much sense.
We're all created to do incredible things, like conquer summits, catch big waves, and live our passions. As time goes on, our bodies begin to show signs that things just aren't as they used to be. Our energy levels decline, sleep patterns shift, and recovery slows. But our bodies are masterpieces of design. holding the potential to bounce back better than ever. With X39, we achieved something remarkable in the field of wellness and regenerative science that others could not. By utilizing LifeWave's unique patented technology, X39 uses light to elevate GHKCU, a copper peptide known to support overall health and wellness. Unlike traditional light therapy, which requires external light sources, X39 uses the body's own infrared light to naturally increase vitality, enhancing the body's flow of natural energy for improvements in strength, stamina, performance, and overall health and well-being, with the simplicity of an affordable, non-invasive, non-transdermal patch. As we age, levels of these life-enhancing elements, which are associated with wellness and longevity, begin to decline. LifeWave invested 10 years into stem cell research, which resulted in over 70 patents. X39 was born to bring to the public a product that could support wellness in an entirely new way, supporting the production of younger, healthier cells with wearable light technology. Becoming a powerhouse is easier than you think. Harness your body's natural potential to maintain youthful energy and vitality, because life comes at you fast, but it doesn't have to pass you by. Live long, live well, live young. Be the light with LifeWave X39. LifeWave.
Well, I apologize for the sound. However, this little patch, about the size of a quarter, is what we're going to be sharing with you tonight. And whether you're able to hear the sound or not, we're going to tell you all about this, because this is the little device that brought me out of 3 years of knee pain and then went on to do a tremendous amount of things in terms of my health. So welcome to the Power of the Patch. It's based on the science of photobiomodulation, which when I first was introduced to this, I'm like, okay, photo I know is light. Okay, bio's biology, the body, and modulation, okay, we're going to start changing things, right? So X39 contains very specific combinations of organic materials and nanocrystals. And if you're keeping up with the way medical devices are going now, crystals are the way of the future. Almost, you think of the lasers they're using. They're using crystals. You're seeing infrared treatments, all kinds of things with light now. When these patches are applied within about 3 inches or directly on the body, they're activated by our infrared body heat. If we had night vision goggles on and I was in the dark room, you'd see me glowing because we literally emanate light. We can't see infrared, but we can feel it as heat. That's what this little patch is working with, right? And so they're emanating very specific wavelengths of light to stimulate biochemical responses in the body. Okay, you won't have a test on this on Monday, but there's the science for you, right? So I'd like to introduce David Schmidt. He is our founder, inventor, CEO of LifeWave. This is taken, this picture in our Utah headquarters. These are just some of the patents David has. He has over 200 patents. He's a world-renowned awarded scientist. And in fact, just the end of last year, he won International Biotech Award for Stem Cell Innovation with the LifeWave technology. So David spent about 22 years honing this technology. And why I'd like to show you this video, if we can't hear it, I think I'm going to have to pass it tonight. So we'll come back. But LifeWave now is in their 22nd year. David created the company back actually started researching in 2000, and he was under contract with the U.S. Navy SEALs down in San Diego. And he was doing light research, and they were looking at how do we increase the stamina and the performance of the Navy SEALs without using drugs or stimulants and coffee. And David says, the Navy's been doing light research for like 40 years. They just won't tell us, right? David went on to create LifeWave in 2004, and as the video said, he spent many years perfecting and patenting this technology. In 2010, the company had grown manufacturing, international distribution, IT, global service in Ireland, because we're now in over 80 countries. And that really surprised me. I was like, how come I haven't heard of this company? And tonight, as I go to bed, people in Australia are putting patches on, and South Africa and Italy, people all over the world are using these. We have 16 global centers and a new headquarters in Draper, Utah, and a really, really fun space age, state-of-the-art welcome center. But let me take you down the road with LifeWave X39 because we really feel it really is the holy grail of healing and regeneration. We're not just making up words here. It's really amazing. It's really an historic breakthrough in wellness technology. We're doing what many of big pharma and those multi-billion dollar companies have not been able to do, you guys. Think about it. If they had a capsule or a tablet for us to activate stem cells, how much would we pay for it? And here we have an affordable breakthrough in a patch. X39 has been proven to activate very specific copper peptide in our blood that supports and enhances stem cell activity, resulting in younger and a more vibrant you. And you're going to see the proof here. But what about the science? What about the patents? We have over 200 patents, more than 100 clinical studies, and these are third-party blind tested clinical studies that are the creme de la creme. LifeWave spends a lot of money proving their technology. But for you and me, let's go down to how will I benefit? Well, first of all, when you're wearing this patch 12 hours a day, you tend to start getting more energy because it's starting to work at a very deep cellular level. From the first day on, a lot of people are like, oh, I don't feel as fatigued. I'm starting to sleep better. That would be really wonderful at 3 a.m. when you're not looking at your phone and Facebook and you're actually sleeping, right? A lot of people say their sleep is deeper. People start noticing if you work out that it's improving your performance, your recovery's faster. A lot of people over age 50 say, I'm more fit. I have a friend, she's 74. She's going into the senior Olympics. She can push those big sleds with weights. She's phenomenal on these patches now. We have pro athlete, Olympic athletes all using the patches ever since 2004. And if you think about it, these are world-class athletes. They're like million-dollar machines. They can't put products on them or have them ingest products that are going to take them off the field, that are prohibited by the anti-doping agencies. These have no side effects. They are not a drug. The athletes can use these to increase their stamina and performance, right? But I think a lot of us get caught, oops, pardon me, by looking at what can it do for me with pain relief, which is what got my interest. Because after 3 years, I was at wit's end. Most people can notice a reduction in pain within about minutes of putting the patch on. And so you might say, well, where do I put it? We're going to talk about that. But honestly, it's systemic. We can put the patch on your big toe and it's going to work with your whole body that way. What about the brain? I'm really excited to talk about this because many report improvement in memory, focus, cognitive function, less brain fog, even not trying to diagnose, but even kind of those anxious feelings. That the patch, you see the scans here, the EEG scans. This woman, 77 years old, the first scan, a lot of inflammation in her brain. She did have cognitive decline. They put X39 on. 3 weeks later, they scan. You start seeing it going to blue. By session 3, 6 weeks, look at the clearing going on. So this can help people in sports. People have had brain issues, injuries off motorcycles. How can we help the body, right? And I think what surprises, especially many doctors, is wound healing. The X39 with stem cell activation tends to really speed wound healing. We've got a number of doctors, just in the people I know, that go, I can't believe it. One with her facelift, he's like, you're healing like double of what people do. But I think most of us really enjoy wrinkle reduction because the body's getting flooded with collagen. Wrinkles start going away. Skin is tightening. Your skin gets so smooth. It's wonderful. So, a few pictures. This woman was suffering with allergies. I just feel so sad for her. We know how it feels. And not only does she look groggy, you feel groggy in your head with that. Well, look at her after only 4 months working with X39, pick and steal. But no, that's not what do I want to say? Peel and stick. Let me put that the right way. You peel and stick a patch. That's all you're going to do. Mandy here, we really appreciate how over time she just kept taking pictures of the reverse aging. This young guy was on a snowboard, had a bad day on the slopes, ran into a lot of rocks. Look at him in 5 days, the speed of the healing. Visit personal friend of mine. She had tremendous amount of pain. She had a lot of complications. She was on many drugs trying to deal with it. And honestly, was kind of hesitant to look at this technology. She thought, how come my doctor isn't prescribing it? Well, one day she really just had so much pain, she said, put it on me. And here you can see the reverse aging. In over 9 months, she's got her whole life back, honestly. Our friend here, Karen, we're going to talk about her in a moment. BJ fell through rafters. He had a kind of a tough day. He broke 6 ribs and also punctured his lungs. Well, if you've ever even bruised your ribs, you know that coughing, sneezing, it's just like, oh, please don't sneeze because it's so painful. Well, look at him in less than 2 weeks, the healing that was going on. And the doctor has said you're released to go back to work in half the time. So here's Karen. Karen had radiation for sinus issues. You can see that there's been some damage. She went through the treatments. She used X39 after. She kept taking pictures, and you can see from June 6th to June 23rd, pretty remarkable recovery. Well, look at her by the end of the month. Spectacular healing of the tissues of from all the recovery from that. So even though we make no claims that we're treating or curing diseases, this is a wellness technology that's restoring balance. I think what's also really exciting for most people is we have really many reports of people growing hair, increased quantity of hair, even people's with silver hair, it's coming back their natural color that way. So I'm going to try and one more video. Let's see if you guys can hear this. I actually think the sound is a problem with Zoom because my computer was doing fine today. So let's see how we do.
X39 has really changed my life. I'm not stuck at home in pain and bed. I'm out here with my friends.
My apologies.
X39.
Let's figure this out. Okay, so people are asking, what are the doctors saying about this? Well, some of our doctors, Dr. Barbara Jennings, Dr. Jeffrey Hubbard, Dr. Nicholas Tivoli, Dr. Shauna Young, Dr. Walt Young, Dr. Tom Macklin, are just some of the 3,000 doctors that we have using this technology because they understand that even though they're here to help us perhaps get over the illness or help with a surgery, the body itself has got to heal. We're going to help that your body to have the nutrients, have what it needs to be able to come back to that state of balance. So I'm going to pause right now since we can't see those videos very well. My apologies. And I'm going to ask Dr. Cathy Wong to join us tonight. And I'm very, very excited to have Dr. Cathy with us. Dr. Cathy is the owner of Heritage Lake Dental in the northwest area of Indiana, kind of towards the Chicago area. She and her husband, John, have been serving their community for over 30 years, but she focuses on whole body health, not just having a great smile. And that's why she chose to add LifeWave to her practice, because she recognizes the value of X39 as it helps strengthen the whole body. And as Dr. Cathy will tell you, the teeth are often kind of a window into the health of your whole body. But along the way, Dr. Cathy found that she really enjoyed the LifeWave community, so much so that 4 years ago, she decided to create another stream of income by sharing LifeWave technology. And today she's achieved the rank of 3-star director, which allows her more time and money freedom to practice dentistry part-time, which is pretty exciting. So, Dr. Cathy, I am going to come out of my slides, hopefully here, and put those down for a minute. And we are going to ask you to unmute and come on the screen. Great, there you are. There you
I
are.
am
Welcome,
here.
Dr. Cathy. And can you hear me? Let me hear you.
I can hear you.
Great. I don't know what's going on with the videos tonight, but we can hear each other.
Okay,
So
and that's what counts tonight, huh?
that's what counts. So welcome, welcome. Dr. Cathy is also part of our Doc Talk team on Sunday nights. We're going to tell you about that. But Dr. Cathy, maybe you could share with people what got you excited about X39, what you saw that maybe typical dentistry didn't have and why you wanted to bring it to your practice.
Well, my husband was the one that found out about it. We had listened to Michael Jaco, and he was sharing this technology with everyone. And he said, Kathy, you need to take a look at this. So my husband and I have always been, maybe you want to call supplement junkies, but we've always wanted to go ahead and find a way to maintain our health. So when I looked at the technology, did a little bit of research, I found, well, hey, this might be another way. So we've had pills and we've had potions, we've had powders. Why not a patch? Okay.
Good point.
So, I just started utilizing it. I have a 94-year-old mother. I thought, well, why not patch her? I mentioned it to my sister, and she said, I'm coming over. I want to know more about it. So that started our sharing journey. And we've got so many more people to share this amazing technology with.
Wonderful. That's true. So many people have tried different things. They're looking at this. I think most people in America want wellness. They try not to do too many drugs, but they're trying supplements, they're trying different things. What do you love more about this patch technology than maybe supplements that you have in your practice? What's different about this?
Well, it's drug-free. It's all natural. And you know what? It works. So when someone puts the patch on, sometimes they feel something immediately, but you don't always have to see it, feel it, and be able to measure it to know that technology is working. Because there are so many things that happen that we can't feel, we can't see, but
Yeah.
it's still working. So we have to take a little, maybe sometime a leap of faith, trust the person that shared the technology with us, because whether you can feel it or not, repair is happening.
That's true. Repair is happening. I know when people have said, well, Jan, I don't feel anything, I kind of teasingly say, well, did you feel your DNA yesterday? Did you
Hmm.
feel your hair grow yesterday? And I know for me, it took about 4 weeks before the pain I'd been suffering truly went away, but I was willing to definitely invest in this, such a natural approach. So is there perhaps a story you'd like to share with a patient or yourself or your mother that might illustrate what in your early days what convinced you about it?
Well, I always say you can't pick the fix. Okay, but given that, okay, the body has that list of priorities and mission critical items are going to be taken care of first. So I have someone who had a lot of pain and he wanted relief. He started wearing X39 and did not get the relief he wanted. But one thing that happened was he had an increase in his appetite. Then he went away on a job, basically ran out of patches, appetite started to decrease again. He went back on the patches, started to have a more of an appetite. So we do know that repair takes energy. Okay,
Yeah,
and if he wasn't eating, how is he going to get the energy to repair? No, if he's patient, is consistent with this technology, he is going to get a result. Now, that's a person, that had to go off the patches for a little bit to realize that something was happening, not necessarily the pick that he wanted, but something was happening.
absolutely. So how do you recommend people use these patches and where do they place them?
Mhm. Well, David Schmidt did clinical studies and he says place the patch behind the neck at the C7 or below the belly button. But in reality, this is a patch that really works anywhere you put it. So I always tell people put it wherever it hurts, okay, or wherever you feel that you want the benefit. Okay. And we wear it for 12 hours and then we give our body a rest for 12 hours. If we utilize the technology 24/7, pretty soon the brain is going to ignore those signals and we're not going to get the best results. So we need to give our body a rest.
Thank you. I want to pause and kind of underline that. So what she said is wear it for 12 hours, take the patch off, you're going to put a new one on tomorrow because the body actually does need to rest because it's a powerful signal, right, Dr. Kathy?
Correct. It is. It
Yeah.
is.
So I have to share, a couple years ago, I did do an implant. I had my patch ready, and
Mhm.
even though I was full of Novocaine, when they were done, I put my X39 right here,
Mhm.
and my dentist said, "What is that?" And you're trying to talk with numbed,
Mhm.
and I kind of explained it, and it was very cute. He ran over across the room, sat down in a chair, pulled up his pant leg to his knee, and he said, "Will this help my runner's knee?" Which made me just chuckle so hard. But again, introducing people to it, most everybody can use it. So you're wearing it 12 hours on, 12 hours off. Does it interfere with medications?
No, it's a non-transdermal patch, and that simply means that nothing enters the body. A dermal patch might be something like a smoker's patch, a nicotine patch, or
Ah,
a lidocaine patch. That is when something enters the body. So this is non-transdermal, so you're not going to have any interference. But
that's exciting.
we always tell people that if you're working with a physician, you do want to go ahead and, and let them know what you're doing and have them help you on that journey.
Hmm. Very true. Because again, there's nothing going into the skin. It's talking to the body on a light frequency level, which I think is pretty darn exciting that way. So with this, are there any um, counter indications or things we shouldn't do with it?
Well, I think a lot of people will always say, can I take medicine? Yes, you can. But I think one of the cautions would be someone who may be undergoing maybe therapy for those angry cells. You do want to go ahead and be cautious at how you use it because it's designed to go ahead and increase the immunity. And sometimes when you're going through some of those treatments, it's counterproductive when you're wearing the technology. Now, sometimes you can wear it before or sometimes after treatment, but that might be one area that you may want to go ahead and just step back and actually get a little more advice from your practitioner.
Very good. Always good to help. And if your doctor doesn't understand it, that's fine. We have a lot of videos and we have a webinar every Sunday night called Doc Talk, where we
Mhm.
have practitioners like Dr. Cathy, a number of other MDs, different therapists, that your doctor can come learn about it from other practitioners, from other doctors, which is great. And I'll give you that link here in a minute if you're interested in that. So what about are there people that shouldn't wear it?
Well, you know what? When I think of it, not really. I really can when I remember someone saying,